following them?
Good.
Okay. So, Perek, please, can you join
Sure.
us? So, yes, today we are going to speak about Barcelona ecosystem and how is it booming. And we have together with us in the table some of the most promising startups, also one innovative investor related to media for equity and media content with us. So let me introduce them. Pere from Nemuru, which is a fintech platform. You're going to tell us a little bit later
Yeah, sure.
about that. Also Ramiro with us today, who is the general partner of Media Digital Ventures, which is really innovative fund created in Barcelona. And together with us as well, Antonio Morales, who is the CEO and co-founder of GoClear, which is an amazing insurtech. So let me say some words before about what is Barcelona ecosystem. Barcelona ecosystem is booming. How all the Spanish ecosystem is booming in collaboration with other ecosystems like Valencia, Madrid, and some others. So just to give you some data about the year, in Spain, the first half of the year, they've been invested more than 2 billion euros from international investors in Spain, which is double what was invested last year. So are really good numbers. And half of it was invested in companies based in Barcelona, companies that some of them have the possibility to co-found them, such as Wallapop and Globo. But also, I would like to put an example of how the ecosystem is maturing. I think that the case of Wallbox, that as you know, went public some days ago, is a clear example of a company created in Barcelona in a really short period of time. It has been to be able to go to an IPO in the US through an SPAC. So it's really a clear example of how the ecosystem is moving. No? And one of the things that's happening in Barcelona as well is that you see in all Europe, all the investment in insurtech and fintech are increasing. I think the investment in overall has more than doubled last year. And we have promising companies in this space in Barcelona. So I would like to start with Pere from Nemuru to tell us with your vision about how is growing the investment in the fintech space, and how do you see that in your company?
I think it's quite an interesting moment indeed. No, I think from data we can extract that basically Spain as a whole is one of the more fintechs per inhabitant. Okay, so I think this was the starting point. I think we've been seeing how all the principal layers in terms of payments, banking, open banking infrastructure are being built, and this is opening up the space to many other type of fintech approaches. Okay, so it's not so much only the type of fintech more related to wealth management or to this type of approach, but rather moving to other spaces. I would say also more complex, like more close to lending spaces that in fact we do that. So I think it's a very interesting moment for this. I think the ecosystem is mature enough, both in terms of the story we've been creating in the last times, also because it's the right moment, I think, for international VCs to start looking really deep into our ecosystem, and I think it's a very interesting moment for the fintech Spain in space. No? For instance, still Spain is I would say a strange country in the sense that it's super bankerized country. Okay, I mean banking has a lot of power in this sense, but still they are also moving in this direction and learning how to collaborate with these startups. So I think that all the agents come together to be a perfect moment for growth stages in fintech. And this is for us, I mean, we are just one of these examples, right? On the consumer lending space, we generate the whole platform and value generation for the seller to have easy embedded financial services in their marketplaces, in their sales platforms, but we do not fund them ourselves. We better partner with banks that are at the end backing up these operations on consumer finance, right? So it's just an example on how I think this ecosystem is really ready for this growth stage, which I think also it would bring a little bit more concentration. I think what's missing or will be the next step really, is this more close to unicorn in the fintech space, right?
Great, but and Antonio, how do you see the insurtech space? Because has been one of the spaces that has grown even faster than some experts say that it's like 4 years below what has happened in the fintech industry.
Yeah, in comparison maybe with the fintech space, the insurtech are in the early phases. So it's, we see an incredible opportunity in terms of the main problems that we need to solve in all the value chain of the insurance sector. Because remember that it's a 100 years industry that need to a refresh in terms of different new business models and the trend of new consumers in all spaces, in mobility, in health, and property in general. We see a trend of a new way that the consumers are demanding specific solutions for new business models. In our case, for mobility, they are demanding different approaches of how we need to deliver the insurance coverages to solve the risks that we have every day. And also, I think in terms of collaboration, the insurtech is a very collaborative space because of the complexity of the industry. We need to put the different players, because also it's a regulated industry, very highly regulated industry. So in this case, the role of the distribution side, the insurers, the reinsurers, and the insurtechs is a must to work together to solve these problems in the industry. For example, many insurtechs recently were focused to create different approaches in the distribution, digital distribution, but also we have many problems in the risk management too. So I think there is more space to create more disruption and more. There is enough space for more players, because in Spain, remember that it's a huge industry. Just in mobility is about 2.5 billion industry each year. But I think we need more insurtechs that need to deliver new value propositions and solve the main problems across the value chain.
Yeah, Antonio, Barcelona has been as well chosen as capital of mobility. So I think that you're addressing exactly this point, no? I mean, you are creating some new products that addresses the new kind of mobilities, combining
really,
different ways of
mobility is changing so fast. In terms of the cities are changing the way that we move from point A to point B. Different forces that we have in the market in terms of car sharing, different ways, restrictions to move your car around the city, degenerates a new complex environment that we need as insurers the responsibility to make a better fit of the products for these needs. And I think Barcelona is the perfect laboratory to perform this kind of new value propositions, and then we can extend to the rest of the country, and also in all the regions like Europe in this case.
Okay, so let's change. Barcelona has been clearly one of the places where a lot of B2C companies have grown. They created big brands, and this year we had the example of these two big rounds, for example, of Wallapop and Globo, who has been the biggest round ever in Spain, and they have been using mass media to reach their customers and to build the brand. So maybe, Ramiro, you can tell us about how these companies have created this brand. I think that you are in charge of a fund that has 50 million euros on TV assets and media channels, and another one in a new model of social content creator.
Yeah.
Another 50 million in Spain and Latin America. You can tell us how do you
Yes.
see that?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about the innovation of startups in Barcelona, and I think us as an investors, we also have the responsibility or more the obligation to innovate us and offer new ways of funding and new products that can give resources to the entrepreneurs. So us as investors of Globo and Wallapop, we did the media for equity, we did the television with them, and it was, at the early beginning was something that there was a lot of uncertainty about this kind of investments, and we have validated our value proposition by showing the great results, no, that we can get from giving the resources of doing a mass media TV campaign for a startup, right? So what we did with Global Wallapop of helping them being first movers, generating brand awareness and credibility in the mind of the consumer is something that we've been doing since then, right? So what we do is we try to incorporate to our assets to menu of assets or as many different assets as possible, no? Because there are many startups with different products or services they want to publish. So what we've been doing in the last few months is we wanted to innovate as fast as the startups. And what we have seen is that television works pretty well for some startups that are B2C mass market and they have presence in the whole nation. But there are also these startups that are targeting younger audiences, such as millennials and Generation Z, and they also have this international focus, and from the very beginning they have the potential to scale very fast and to have presence in, for example, South America. So what we have created is we have just launched this new fund. It's a 50 million investment fund, and in this fund what we have as investors, instead of having the traditional media companies, we have influencers, content creators, and celebrities, esports teams. So what we offer is publicity with associating to these influencers and these celebrities. And since this is as expensive as doing a TV campaign, you can capitalize the use of these influencing people and do a communication campaign through them. And this is super powerful because what we have seen is that the credibility in the audience of the influencer is even greater. The community, the sense of community that you generate is even greater than in traditional media sometimes, and the richness is broader, no? Because if you want to deploy your operations, if you have a startup that is very tech-based and you have the potential of growing very fast within a year time in the whole Spain and, for example, in South America, we can use content creators such as a YouTuber or a streamer, and we will publish the startup by creating fun content, and we will reach half of the globe within a few seconds. So this is pretty amazing. We have seen very great results, and we are working currently in 3 deals. One is with a celebrity, very well-known celebrity, and we are launching a product associated with this celebrity in the US. And this would have been a couple of million investment, and instead of that, we are going to be able to capitalize it, which is great. And we're also working on a deal with some YouTubers. So yeah, so our responsibility is to be as innovative as the entrepreneurs.
So if I understand well, it's a 100 million fund.
Yeah.
50 million TV, 50 million content creator, and which
Yes.
stages are you invested? You invest in companies based in Barcelona, but all over Spain and Latin America.
Yeah, since we are in Barcelona, it's very easy to reach them, and we are very well aware of the new ventures that raise in Barcelona. We have this investment fund. It's a TV investment fund of 50 million, and we have another 50 million fund with influencers, and sometimes they can even co-invest. So we offer a media mix, we offer like a media campaign in which you can be in TV, radio, magazines, out of home, and influencers. And potentially, the objective is to give the startups from the very beginning all the resources that a big corporation has. No? So for example, if you have a cosmetic...
Series A, early stage?
Yeah, we can do anything. It has to be a B2C company that has a view on scaling very fast. So they have to be as aggressive as and have I don't know, yeah, aggressive as us. So they we want to give them support and to accelerate the growth. So for example, as I was saying, just as an example of how powerful we can be is a startup that for example, has a cosmetic product and they want to compete against the big corporations that they are currently doing advertising in magazines, in lifestyle magazines, in television very powerfully, and they are associating their image to a big celebrity, Hollywood star. So startups were not able to do the same thing and to associate themselves to a big celebrity, for example, and generate the credibility of the big corporations. Now we are giving them the resources to do it, and from the very beginning to be able to earn market share and by working with us.
Great, congrats, very innovative. Also, I think the media industry has been really innovative in Barcelona for years. So let me open another area. I think that if you look at the macro trends, what we see in these last 2 years, it's a really increase on the weight of the investment of corporate venture capital and corporations in general in startups. So this famous dance between Gazella and the elephant is happening through accelerating platforms, through investments, and right now, I mean the investment from corporate venture capital have increased more than double the last year, and I think really is the really key thing especially in spaces such as fintech and insurtech, where, as Antonio was saying, the regulation is really important. So, but again, you tell us your experience.
In fact, I somehow stated at the beginning, right, that I think one thing is regulation, and it helps, of course, this type of collaborations to bring out some solutions with the help of this regulated part, more on the banking side, and also what I said before. So basically, I think Spain is a special country in this sense. Banks have a lot of presence in our lives, and of course, collaborating with them makes sense in terms of also of launching new products, because basically what we see is that apart from the investment part, but in terms of product, in terms of how consumer is evolving, it is happening, and it is happening fast. But banking, they do have a lot of customers, but legacy systems that really don't allow them to be so fast in answering to this demand. Okay, so and basically banks are also understanding, and here I mean I take the time to also say thanks to this kind of vision and how they evolved this vision in the last 4 or 5 years from what it was, of being more open to embed some of their financial products also in third-party platforms. And this is something that if we talked about that 5 years ago would be impossible. And I think, of course, on their side, also in people generating ecosystem between corporates and the pure startup ecosystem, this helped really much in bringing out these products faster than
because
before.
You are a banking as a service platform, but you are not a bank. So
exactly,
you collaborate,
right.
I think you have investors and
exactly. So
how could you explain how?
Yeah. So basically, on the product side, we commercialize financial product from the bank in the sense that our consumer loans that we originate directly on their balance sheet. But we generate all the technological stack previous to that on the underwriting part of the credits, right? And with more possibilities of embedding our tools into different spaces where banks with their tech stack cannot go. Okay, in this sense, this is the collaboration. This is complemented also with the venture part or the venture brand of the banks. We in fact collaborate with them both commercially. Also, we received investment from 4 different financial institutions. So I think this really generates more ecosystem and speed in this sense.
How is your experience with the elephant and gazella then?
So you need to move fast, not to be stepped in. But of course, I mean, there are some pros and cons, like everything. I think, of course, some things take a long time or longer time, longer sales cycles, longer this type of approach. but it generates also some more stability and trust on all the other parts of customers, which indeed, maybe it's not this first year explosion, but then it comes after that.
Okay. Antonio, I imagine that in the insurtech space is key as well, no? I've seen many different insurtech startups that can go through a process, being a broker before, then moving to a MGA distribution model, then being a full stack insurtech. So how do you see to advance?
In insurtech, I think we are in an inflection point that the new digital players, I think, have the responsibility to take the insurance to the next level. That is something that maybe is going to happen in the next 5 years. Because if we see the velocity of the innovation, especially in the recent probably 2 years, are moving so fast, but not enough that as we want, because all the players are not moving in the same way, because also we have a generational gap, because the traditional incumbents with different methodologies of working and the new entrants, and also the talent that you need to recruit. Also, you need to make a perfect mix of experience, but also new skills in terms of the digital space. And I think the management of the both things are the most important thing that we need to generate a real impact in the industry. For example, in the case of GoClear, we start as a remote first company because the pandemic season, but we're still working in that way, and part of our staff is a mix of experience of the traditional insurance business plus new data oriented skills in the rest of the team. And I think this is the new rules of the new companies, and I think the companies that can arrange in a better way this and try to make the better trade-offs that this mix have could generate a better impact for the customers. I think one of the important things that we see in Barcelona is that we can find different talents from different cultures, and the international presence of workers help to move more faster than other cities. And this is probably one of the things that we see in that part. And in the case of the insurance business, also it's important to be very focused in which problem we want to solve in terms of the customer side, but also on the insurance business side. And in some cases, we need to find the perfect match in that point that works for both parts.
Okay, thank you. So as you all know, I mean, this sector is all about talent, and Barcelona has a really strong position about that. In fact, most of the reports about talent, they say that Barcelona is the third city in Europe chosen by entrepreneurs to launch their startup. And there is a competition about talent, and the good thing in Barcelona is there is a generation of more than 20 years of teams that have been working in Let's Bonus, Wallapop, Privalia, and many big companies that started some years ago. And after this experience, they've been able to create their startup. So this virtuous cycle of talent, which is really key when you think to create a company from scratch to have 5 million customers in just 2 years. No? And so, as investor, how do you see this, Ramiro, this fight for talent, and how do you see the talent that is competing in Barcelona, and the startups competing for this talent?
Yeah, well, what I see in Barcelona is I see a lot of talent. I see a lot of people out of college, they are willing to jump straight into a startup rather than going to a big corporation, and it's something that you don't see in every city, no? I mean, it's very normalized. There is a huge ecosystem, and from an investor point of view, we want to contribute to that ecosystem by generating interaction between our investment, our companies, and giving them all the resources and to be able to build up and scale on what they are doing, no? So me as an investor, I feel that being in Barcelona is key for our success. Being in the Pier 1 in Barcelona Tech City is great because we are next to all the entrepreneurs that we are willing to fund and we are willing to help, no?
Okay. And you, I suppose you are hiring the talent, Antonio and Vera, every day. So do you fight each other? I mean, do you fight with the rest of entrepreneurs
I
there
hope
in
not.
Barcelona
I
Tech
hope
City?
not. I'm not sure.
It's
but
really
I hope not.
hard, the competition.
I think it's hard. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the typical right fight between resources and talent, and how you compensate talent not only with resources, right? And in this sense, of course, it is hard. But of course, having a bigger ecosystem makes things easier in this sense too, because people are more accustomed to it. They know more success stories. They wait for more success stories. So this generates a little bit more facilities in this approach.
Antonio, you are an example of what I was explaining before, no? You came from Latin America to Barcelona to create your startup, and part of your team is international. So how do you see that?
It's really interesting because I think
I think that you had even to go for the hard process of having the license to live in Barcelona and Spain.
after the pandemic, I think many things changed. Especially now, you can work in any place that you want, and you can cause the same impact and same mental barriers that maybe we have before has radically changed. So, if, for example, in our case, we have people from different places. They are working remotely. And we start a remote culture. Also, we combine with a face-to-face also meetings and certain dynamics. But at the end of the day, if you have
I think that your company was created during the COVID. So
yeah, the company
so
was
you've
started
been working together with the team without meeting.
Yeah, we
within 6 months, I think, no?
Yeah, we recruit all the talent 100% remotely during the first 6-7 months. And we are now. We are working, and we gain a lot of learnings in this part. And I think we have more resilience to the problems that we are facing in a daily basis. Because as a startup, you have good days and bad days, you know, and we need to manage all these things. But in that case, I think the new way of work is to have these capabilities to combine different methodologies of remote presence and have a mixture of culture and the influence of the external help us also to see different things, different ways of how to perform a better stage of growth of the company in the upcoming years.
Okay, thank you. I think that we're running out of time. Don't do boxing for fighting for the talent. So
We won't.
use other kind of tools to track the talent. And thank you everybody for being with us right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's
Thank you very
Thank you very much.